this session as well. Okay, perfect. So thank you for joining the session um, for comparing different metadata using BOFC application. So so BOFC is a native application which can help you perform multiple kind of operations in a very few simple steps. So we have a lot of features like you can perform a field creation, updation, deletion, comparison of different types of things. You can clone an entire object from multiple external logs to the same org. You can perform action on your profiles, permission sets, process builders, validation rules. So there are a lot of more than 25 features in this application, which can save your time and effort. So today, our topic is today the topic of the webinar is to how we can compare different type of metadata across multiple logs, right? So BFC helps you to compare multiple types of metadata. Like you can compare the object across multiple logs, like how many fields are there, which fields are there, which fields are not there, like similarity, differences, and everything. So you can easily get the knowledge about it. Along with the objects or fields, you can also compare profiles. You can compare validation rules across multiple logs, like if we have two orgs like sandbox and production and you want to compare like which ones are there in the sandbox and which one are there in production, so you can just have a side by side differences and comparison of it. The same goes with the process builder. So if you want to compare the process builders and which version is active and which org, you can easily compare between two different orgs, right? Next, we have, you can also compare your code like Apex classes, backend code, which we have Apex classes, triggers, Visual Force components, Visual Force pages, easily using this tool. The last and the least is nothing but the comparison layouts. So you can compare the page layouts across two different Salesforce orgs. Like if you have a sandbox and if you have production and you want to compare the layouts of the account object, right? So you can have a side-by-side comparison of the layouts, like which fields are there on the which layouts, right? Which fields are there on the which layouts on the different Salesforce orgs, right? So to start the session, we'll go with the first feature, which is your how we can compare objects and fields, right? So let me quickly go to the Salesforce app, BFC application, and I will go to the comparison section, BFC comparator, right? So here we have a link for how you can compare objects and fields. So once you will open this application, it will have this UI for you where you can have a list of your connection orgs uh, which you want to compare. So you can add any new environment just by clicking this button and enter the information of your environment, right? So once you have the environment set up ready, you can just go with these options. So do you want to compare the same object in two different orgs, or you will have a different API names of the two objects? Let's go with the first option. Like I want to compare the company object, right, in two different orgs. So let me take this Brian org and let me take this test org, right? So I want to compare my this object in these two orgs, right? So I will click on the compare objects. So once I click on the compare object, the processing is going on. So let's wait for a couple of seconds for the process to complete and we'll see the result, how it comes out. Sorry, let's run it once again with some other org. Okay, so this is the results of it. So I have selected two orgs. One is Brian org and one is this test Shivangi org, right? So here are the fields of the company object, right, on the Brian org, and here are for the Shivangi org, right? Now, if I want to, right now it's showing me all the fields of both the orgs. If I just want to see the differences only, like which fields are different in both the orgs, I can just select this option and I can again click on the compare objects. So now it will show me only the differences between the two orgs and the fields. Okay, so these are the fields with the differences which are not there in both the orgs in this object. So we can easily go and we can easily go and create those fields, and we can have the work done for us. So this is how you can compare the two objects on different orgs. In case if you have this object with a different API names, so you can go with the you can just change your object type from here, right? So in this case, it's going to ask you to enter the API name of the objects on both the sides. So let's take, I am taking the object as account here, right? And this one. So you can also define the different API names of the objects, and you can compare it, right? So now it has shown me. So in case of Brian org, this is coming from this object accounts. In case of the test Shivangiri, this is coming from the account object. So these are the list of fields and the comparison of it, right? Okay. Any questions here, Jerry, on this, or Ivan?
Is there any easy way to take the stuff from the sandbox and create a change set?
Actually, right now it's not. If you want to create the fields in production directly from the sandbox, so you can use the feature called bulk field creation, right? And from there you can easily create it. This is one way. Second way is you can also use a clone object feature where you can easily clone your entire object from sandbox to production.
Mohit, and for that, we only have to have the license on one of the orgs, right? Like this one.
Okay.
The target org doesn't have to have that the app installed.
No, it's not required to have an app installed on your other orgs. It's just the org in which you are right now. You have to just install the app, and then you can do the comparison just by adding the connection here.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a doubt in my mind.
Okay, perfect. So, okay, so let's move ahead with the next feature, which is how to compare the process builders using BFC. So I will go back to the home page, and I will go to the process builders category. Here it is. And I will click on the compare process builder. Right. So once this page will load, just give me a second, I think. Okay. So I will just select the option to compare process builder, right? Sorry, my net is a little bit slow. So, okay. So once I select the compare process builder, it will ask me to select the orgs of which I want to compare the process builder. So let's take the same two orgs. One is your brand test org, and one is your, um, okay. So let's take Shivangi org. Okay. Right. So now, once I select these two orgs, I will click on the this button, compare active processes. So once I click on the this button, so it will initiate the process, and it will find and it will process, and it will get the information for you. So we need to wait once the process get completed on this table, right? So do not refresh your page, nothing, just keep it as it is, and let's see. So it's going on, it's going 77% is done. So let's wait for a couple of more seconds for the process to complete. Okay, so the process is done. So it's completed. Now you can just click on the view results, and here is the result for you. So this is a org, the first org, test Shivangi org, and these are the list of process builders, on which object it is, and what is the active version in it, right? Here is the second org, which is a brand org, and process name, object name, and version, right? Now, if you want to see like what are the differences and what are the similarities, you can just use this drop down to make it. So let's see if there are any common process builders or no. No, there are no common process builders. If I click on the non-common process builders, yes, because these are two different, especially different orgs, so there are no similarity on these, right? So it will reflect and it will show me all the process builders, right? So this case, you can easily compare which versions are active, which was the differences between the production and the sandbox, and you can easily compare your two different orgs in using this feature. Just to give you a heads up, in the upcoming release in the mid of March, so we are coming where you can also compare the summary of your process builders. For example, I want I want to compare the summary of this process builder and this process builder, right? So you will have a side by side comparison of how many decision boxes are there, how many, what is the criteria differences, what are the other things. So what are different kind of actions are there on the process builder. So those kind of comparison is coming in the next upcoming release where you can compare the summary, or you can compare the detail of each process builders as well, right? So right now it's comparing you on a higher level, like which process builders and which versions are active in the two different orgs. Any questions here from anyone? Okay, so silence says no.
I know,
Okay, yeah, please.
Market. How do I know if I have the right version or if I need to update my install package?
Okay, so for that, you can just go to the BFC homepage, right? And you can go to the settings, right? So from the settings, you will have the app version. So where it will show you which version is active in your hub. So it's very simple and easy steps. The settings help you to do that thing for you.
All right.
Anything on the process builders? Any questions like anything on this? Okay, so silence means no. So we'll move on to the next feature. So this is how we can compare the process builders across your multi-blocks. It can be two different non-similar orgs, or it can be two orgs which are linked to each other, like the sandboxes and productions, right? Okay. So the next feature for the today's topic is how we can compare validation rules in two different orgs, right? So it's going to be the same process. We have to go to the category called validation rules, validation operations, and we can just click on the compare validation rules, right? So once I will open this, the page for validation rules, I will see all the different kind of operations I can do on the validation rules, like create, update, delete, export, or compare. So we'll go with the compare option here. So once I will select the compare, I can select the same process. You can select the multiple orgs which you want to compare. So let me select my current org, which I'm in which I am right now, and I select the brand org. So once I will select my two orgs, it will ask me to enter the API name of the object in both the orgs separately. So here it is, enter API name of object in org, current org, because I have selected current org. So let me give object as account. Here it's asking me to enter the API name of object in the brand org, right? So let me give the same name. You can give different objects as well. It's just a matter that you have to give the API name of the object, right? Okay, so now I'm ready with the configuration. Now I will just click on this compare validation button and we'll wait for a few seconds for the results to come up. So it's loading. So let's wait for a couple of more seconds. Okay, so here's the result for us now. So it's showing me the orange means is the first org, current org, and it's showing me all the rules of this org, rule name on which object, it's account object. Obviously, it's obviously account object. What is the status of the validation rule? Condition, any error, any criteria. What is the criteria? And any error message on this rule. The same it goes with the Brian org. What is the rule name, object, status, error condition, and error message. So it shows you all the rules which are there, and you can compare it, right? So the same way you can define if you want to see the common rules or you want to see non-common validation rules between two orgs. The same thing if you want to compare sandbox and production and you want to check if rules are available on objects or not, you can easily compare them and you can find out any differences in the status, any differences in the error conditions or error message in a very simple and few simple steps only, right? So this is how the validation rule works across multiple arcs. Any questions from anyone on this one? I know I'm going very fast, so let me know if I'm going too fast on this. I can just slow it myself. Any questions from Ivan Ajari?
Good. Yeah, I'm just updating my version right now because I was
Okay.
some of the
So the
features.
latest version is 8.762. I guess.
Yeah, I could see that and I'm updating. That's why.
Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
Sure. So this is how you can compare the rules along with the comparison. So there are other operations as well. You can take an export. You can delete multiple rules. You can update the rules like descriptions or a message or a name. You can do it, and obviously you can create the rules as well from any of the orgs. Okay, so moving forward, so the next feature we have is to compare Apex classes and triggers across different Salesforce orgs, right? So same, we'll go to the BFC homepage, right? And you will go to the comparison category, and here we have the option to compare Apex classes, right? So it will open this screen for you, right? The first the first step would be to select the org which you want to compare, right? So let me choose the test org, right? So I want to compare the code, right? So here you can select the same org or you can select different orgs as well. Like you want to compare the code in the sandbox and production, you can select the different orgs, right? So let me take the same one and what kind of a component I want to compare. I want to compare classes, triggers, pages, or components. Anything I can compare, I can choose option from here. The next thing is, do I want to show the classes which are part of a managed package? See, there are many classes which are being part of managed package. So in spite of showing those, just show those classes only which are not part of non-package, right? So we can also use this option. So once I select my left side configuration, I can just click on the get. The get operation is going to show me the list of Apex classes in both the orgs separately so that I can choose the class which I want to compare. So let's wait for the process. It's going on the process. So let's wait for the process to complete. Is it stuck somewhere? No, it's not stuck. Let me reload the screen once. Let me just do it once again. Okay, so let's choose the same orgs and let me just click on the get once again. Okay, sorry. Something due to some, I think some connection or it could have done. Okay, so now it shows me a list of Apex classes in both the different orgs, right? The environment one Apex class, environment two Apex class, right? So now from here, let me choose two different classes and let's see how the comparison works out. So from here, let me choose a class, this one, okay, yep, and let me choose another class. Okay, one second, one second. Okay, so I have selected two different classes. One is BOFC process builder, and here I've selected a different class called BOFC process builder comp X, right? So now once I click on the compare, it's going to show me the result on the right side. So let's wait and see how it comes out. Okay, 1 second. Mm, Okay, so here's the result for us. Generally, it doesn't take that much time. I don't know why it's taking that much time. So, okay, so here it shows me in the red. Red means the lines are not matching the exact wordings. If it's a green, that means it's matching, right? So here the red shows the name of the class is different. That's why it's coming in the red. Rest the content is same. That's why it's showing green. Here it's red. So here you get all the line by line comparison of your code, and you can easily see and you can find out the differences of your code, and you can like fix the things for you in two different Salesforce orgs, right? So you can compare line by line. Also, you can find out the differences, like if there is any code which is of not same size. So if I see these two codes, I can see like the code in the first org is just of is more than around 2000 or 1500 lines, and the code in the first second org is just having around 1200 lines. So here you can see the differences between two different orgs in the different code, and you can just uh, get your code fixed out with the differences. So this you can compare your backend classes, triggers, pages, components, and you can easily compare them between two orgs. So this is how the BFC comparison for the backend code works, right? The next we have is how you can compare your multiple profiles of a Salesforce between two different orgs, right? So let's go back to the Salesforce BFC application. Let me go to the profile category, and I will go to the compare multiple profiles. So once you will land on this page, it's going to ask you the profile name which you want to compare. It's just loading. Okay. So from here, let's select out profile which I want to compare. Let's choose system admin and these two profiles I want to compare, and which type of component I want to compare. So let's choose these three, right? Now, type of action, it's compare profiles. So once you will choose a compare profiles, it's going to ask you, do you want to compare profiles in the same org or between current org and your any of the org you want to select. For example, my current org is a sandbox and I want to compare it with some other org, right? So you can have the differences, right? So there are two different orgs you can it's there. Now, which type of components I want to compare, unmanaged or managed or man-managed. So unmanaged means the components which are not part of your managed packages. Managed and unmanaged means you want to compare everything in your profile, whether it's a part of managed or managed package or on managed package, right? So once you select the configuration, you can just click on this button. Okay, just scroll down a little bit and you will see it's comparing for you. Just wait, it's processing. Okay, so the processing is complete. So we have the result with us. So let's see how it comes out. Okay, it's opening the file. So here it shows me the profile comparison. Like I have two profiles, and what are the object permissions and the permissions on the different profiles. The read permission is there, yes. On the account object, what kind of permissions are there between the profiles? This object, what are permissions? So it shows me the permission differences are of all the objects here and this, right? So orange means it's a false, green means it's a true, right? So it also gives me the differences of user permissions, right? So which permissions are there on which profiles. So it's a side by side comparison. You can easily identify which profile is having which kind of permissions, and easily you can do it, have a comparison of it, right? Any questions on this, Yuvan or Jerry?
So far, so good.
Perfect. Okay, so the last the feature for our today's demo is how you can compare the layouts, right? And how we can export the layouts report of multiple objects, right? Now let's go back to the BOFC homepage and let's go to the layout. So here we have the layout of operations. Export multiple layouts, right? So let me go to that. Now let's take an example. You have your case object, right? And on the case object, you have 5 different layouts. Now you want to see which field is available on which layout. You want to have a matrix of it so that you can identify which fields are useful for you and which fields are not useful for you, right? So what you will do is you can just go to the second option, which is your export fields availability report, right? And you can just click on fetch layouts. Now it's going to show me all the layouts of the case, right? You can select any one of them or two of them or three of them. Let's take all of them right now. Now once you select the layouts, you can just click on the second button, click to initiate, right? So once you click on this button, it's going to do the processing for you and will show you the results, how it comes out. The end result is going to show you the fields and their availability on different kind of layouts. Okay, the sheet is ready. Let's see how it comes out. Okay, so here is the beauty of it. So this shows me the case matrix report, right? So these are your case standard fields which Salesforce gives us. And here we have the layouts. Now it shows me that account ID is available on all the layouts because it's a mandatory field of a case. So that's why it's on the layouts. Asset ID is not mandatory, so it's not on the layout of all the layouts. Let's take the close date. Now close date field is available on these 4 layouts and not on this layout, right? The same goes with the, so till here we have standard fields. After that we have all these custom fields, you can see here, and it give me which fields are available on which layouts. So using this report, you can have a clear idea which fields are useful, which will are not useful. Just a one criteria you can have it to find out the usefulness of the field or it's not used, right? So a complete report of all the fields of your case object, which see you can see these fields. So these are the dummy fields which are not available on any of the layout, right? And it's of no use for you, right? So you can take your decision depending upon your fields. This is it shows you the things about all the fields of your case object of your different layouts. So it's a comparison of your different layouts of your object with fields, right? Any questions on this feature? Because it's a very unique feature, which I don't think so it's there in on any of the application, which can give you a clarity of your fields.
It's great. Yeah, I'm gonna use it today.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay.
All right.
So yeah. So this is how there are the different features on the BFC, the comparison features, which can save a lot of time for the end users. So if I can take a couple of more seconds of you, I can just show you a more beauty about this clone object feature, right? So this is a recently added feature where you can clone an entire object from any of your external org to a current org. So let's take an example. I want to clone an object from Brian org, right? Now Brian org has an object called accounts, right? And I want to do a copy of this object in my current org. Let's see how we can do it easily. So I have selected my source org, my source object name. Now, in the target object, I want to create a new object or I want to create the fields in my existing object. So let's go with a new object. I want to give a name as Brian test account, right? Once I will select my these fields, right, it will ask me for my next action. So which kind of action I want to do? I want to clone all fields. I want to clone my relationship fields like the lookup and master child. And I want to clone my formula fields. Let me select all of them. The last step is to select the field permission. Like I'm going to create new fields. So do I need to set my field permission for any of the profile? So let's select out. Sorry. So if I select this radio button, it will ask me to select the profiles. So let me take system admin and one more profile. That's custom profile. Now for all the new fields, select as read only and edit all. Right. Okay, I am done with my configuration and I will click on this button to initiate the process. So let's see how it comes out. Okay, so it's asking me to perform a couple of actions like to click some buttons. Now I want to create new object, just click on this create button. So it's going to create a new object with a name as Brian test account, and it's going to analyze different types of fields in the source object, and it will give you and show you the count of it. So we'll have to wait for a couple of seconds or more seconds for the process to complete, and let's see how it comes out. So no need to do any manual effort of cloning a manual each and every field. Just use this and your work is done.
While we wait for this, is there a way to copy the current permissions? Let's say these are a sandbox and two different sandboxes from the same organization, and you want to just copy all the permissions as they are from the source organization into the destination. Is there a way to just replicate the permissions without having to list them
See, it's there. It's in my pipeline. So in the upcoming releases, I'm going to add that feature as well. So you have to wait for some more time for that.
Okay.
Okay. So in this table now, I have a couple of more rows. So my new object is created. I can view this object by just clicking on this link, and it will open me my blank object, blank new object. So here is a brand test account, right? And right now it's not having any of the field. So zero custom fields, right? Now it shows me I have custom fields, 170 custom fields, 1 to 100 and 101 to 170. So I have to just click on this create on each of them one by one, and my work is done. So I have done the first create click, and let's see how it comes out. Why we have done it in the in these table is reason is you cannot create a relationship field or a formula field until you have normal fields like text or a number or integer or currency in a quick list, because these normal fields can be a part of a formula. So we have to break them into three different categories, right? So custom fields which are not of type relationship or formula, relationship fields, and formula fields, right? So so let me go to the custom object, this brand account, and let's refresh it and see the fields are coming. Okay, so fields are getting starting to come. Nine are done. So let's refresh it. So 77 are done. Perfect. Okay. So here we have 97 are done. Okay. Now you want to know the reason why three of them does not came, right? So here you can go. You can see it is showing you 1 to 100 are custom processed. Process means process. Now you want to see that the difference is three fields. So you can just scroll it down and you can see the error fields. So these three fields are error out because of this reason. Because this field in the in the source org is using a global pick list, and that global pick list is not available in this current org. So that's why this field got error out. So 100 fields, if I go and create those 100 fields manually, it can take me around 3 hours or 4 hours, but this application does it in a couple of minutes only. So the same way you can create the other fields and your work is done, so you have saved your hours and hours of your manual effort.
Is there a way to create those global pick lists within this package?
I agree with your point, but right now it's not there, but it can be added in the future. But yeah, for just to track out, you have to create those fields which are out manually. Uh, just copying these three fields only.
Copies. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
Okay. So thank you for joining. Any questions on any of the feature, comparison feature or clone feature, or any of the other questions on the BFC application? You can happy to ask me.
Yeah, Mohit. I just realized that I had originally installed BOFC in my test sandbox.
Okay.
And then I recently, like within the last week, refreshed my test sandbox from production.
Okay.
And it wiped out BOFC. And I understand why it did that. I'm a developer, so I know that.
Okay.
But my question is in licensing, if I want to now install it into production, and so that every time I do the sandbox, it'll be there. Do I need to do anything special with re, making the original license available that I had installed in the test sandbox to install it in production, or is there anything special I need to do?
So it all depends upon the different the type of package you have. So if you have a basic edition of the package, so in that you can revoke your key before you refresh your sandbox, so that you can easily use the same key once again. Now the thing it is regarding the refresh. So if you have the package installed in production, you can use the same package in the sandbox. The sandbox will automatically have that package installed for you. In case if
Right.
it's, yep.
But I didn't revoke the key. I didn't realize before I refreshed the sandbox. So can you
So in that case, you have
unallocate the key or something?
Yes, you in that case you have to drop an email to me or support@technology.com, and I will help you out with the process for it.
All right. Do you need an email, or can you just put it on your list now from the webinar, or do you want me to
Uh,
send you?
you can just send an email to me on my
Okay.
email address, and I will be there to help you out in next hour only. I will help you out with that.
Okay.
Yep. So if you need any more information on the release, like any new things which are coming, so you can just go to the BFC application homepage, which is your this one, the official site of BFC, and we have a page for release notes. So right now you can see we just have a new version today only, 8.72, which has all these features listed out. So you can also install upgrade your package using these links as well, a production link or a sandbox link, and it shows you all the history of the new things which have came in this application about it, right?
And you're still working on the flow export in detail, correct?
Yeah, it's still going on in its ongoing process right now. So you have to wait for some more time for that.
Rough guess if it'll be in the April release or later.
Uh, very soon, I hope we can have a basic edition of it in the March release, but in the April it will be surely with the full capacity. It will be there.
Oh, cool. That's great. Thanks.
Right. Okay, so let's any more questions from anyone, Ivan or Jerry?
I'm good. I
Oh, perfect.
appreciate your time.
Sure.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you. Thank you for joining the call, and really appreciate to have you on board.
Yeah, great job. Great job.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Have a good day.